Hey guys, this week's podcast brought to you in part by HighSpots.tv, on-demand wrestling footage whenever you want to watch it, and the Wrestle Reunion, Miami, Florida, WrestleMania weekend, all the stars, the present, past, and future, plus a live $5 wrestling show, including myself and Marty DeRosa, right after the WWE Hall of Fame. Come join us, WrestleReunion.com, but for now, enjoy the show.
This is The Art of Wrestling with professional wrestler Colt Cabana.
All right, how you guys doing? Come on in, sit down, relax, put in your tweaked audio earbuds just so you can listen to The Art of Wrestling, a professional wrestling podcast, but it's like a life podcast, a personal journal, an entryway into the minds, the souls, the hearts, and the lives of the people involved in the world of professional wrestling. I'm your host. My name is Colt Cabana. I am a Chicago native. I am a taxpayer, a man of the people, but most importantly, I am a professional wrestler. And I am sitting here live in the studio, apartment in Chicago, Illinois. Before we go any further, this is a fan-supported and listener-supported podcast supported by people just like you. Yes, you. We give it to you free of charge every single Thursday on WeLoveColt.com or on iTunes. And if you subscribe to iTunes, it will come to you automatically every Thursday morning without you even have to asking or doing anything. That's how great the subscribe button on iTunes is. If you do want to support, you can. It's always appreciated. Leave a review on iTunes, 5 stars, or just say anything in the rating box. It just helps our ratings and rankings. Maybe tell a friend, let them know what's going on over here, the mission that we're trying to serve. Letting people know what we're doing, what we're getting into, the stories that we're telling. Or if you do have a couple dollars, I always appreciate the support monetarily. If you go over to coltmerch.com, that's where I have my merchandise store, t-shirts, buttons, pictures, posters, DVDs. Of course, the brand new throwback t-shirts. I got stick figure art by Jill Thompson, who's the great artist. Mike Norton posters, the Wrestling Road Diaries, Volume 1. I got a lot of great stuff over there. Each purchase made helps support keep this podcast running. And each purchase made is shipped and packaged by my hands, myself. I'm my only employee over at coltmerch.com. The guest this week, Dolph Ziggler. Yes, and a lot of you guys noted when he said on Twitter he did a podcast with me, and I was like, Dolph, don't announce it. I like to keep it as a surprise. And then I got home, and like a moron, I was unable to salvage it, and so then I looked like an idiot, and then I have all these people Twitter bombing me going, where's the Dolph podcast? Where's it at? And I just want to be like, fuck off, because I just felt like such a piece of shit. I had wasted his time. I had wasted my time, and plus, you know, now I couldn't deliver what I promised or what he had tweeted out, and it was just a bad situation. But I'm not a religious man, and I don't thank the man upstairs. No, I thank Kevin Harvey, my friend Kevin. Came over and somehow deciphered this thing through my media empire forum over here. And by some act of Kevin Harvey, the Dolph Ziggler podcast was saved, and it will now be brought to you. So this should be a lot of fun. Please keep in mind that this was done a little bit before Christmas. I think the day before Christmas. So couple months. I don't think it's very time sensitive by any means, but that's just when it went down. Obviously, it's been on the shelf for a little bit, and I'm glad that we can give it to you. And besides saving the Dolph Ziggler podcast, I've also been up to many other things, including traveling the roads. That's what I do. That's the job. That's the hustle. I've basically been on the road for 10 days straight with a one-day stop in Chicago, so I could do a little podcasting. But I have been floating around, spent a lot of time in Los Angeles. During the week last week, wrestled for Lucha Vavoom. 3 days, 3 great shows, Valentine's Day shows. Again, I can't sing the praises more of Lucha Vavoom. All together, a mixture of wrestling, comedy, burlesque, and great times. And just 3 great shows. A lot of people were out there who I think were listening to the podcast and just who like wrestling in general. A lot of people said hi, and I said hello back, and I say hello back right now. There was 3 marriages. Joey Chaos and Jezebel Romo got married on the shows. Congratulations. And they were also married by Reverend Brown, who plays Randy with 8 A's DJ in those Aziz Ansari videos. I'm trying to think what his name is. DJ Old Youngin. So he married Jezebel and Joey Chaos. That was fun. Also, while out there in Hollywood making things happen, making some moves, it's just refreshing when WWE and all the other companies, including Ring of Honor, don't see anything in me. And then a guy who has been in box office movies and had his own numerous television shows. Jamie Kennedy is in his entertainment company, really believes in what I'm doing and what I'm about, and that's thanks to Stu Stone. So Stu Stone, who, of course, wrote the song Rollin' with Saget, wrote the song Circle, Circle, Dot, Dot, had an MTV show with Jamie Kennedy called Blowing Up, put us together, and Jamie believes in the projects, and he believes what I'm doing, and so where I only have the ability to obviously reach the podcast fans, Jamie has the ability and the connections to kind of get stuff through Netflix and iTunes and film festivals and whatnot. So hopefully we reach a larger, group of people and help spread the word and help people acknowledge what's going on just in our world. This is crazy world of wrestling. So I look forward to that relationship with JKE, Jamie Kennedy Entertainment, and it should be a fun ride. It should be a real fun ride. I also headed up north to San Francisco and wrestled for APW in their garage, the Gym Wars show. That was a blast, too, and I really like the idea, the camaraderie of all those guys working together to make a better show. It reminds me a lot of just a young group that I had of young, hungry wrestlers in the Midwest. And I think that's something as wrestlers that's important. And I know in this business of backstabbery and egos and everything, you do find some really true friendships, and those friendships are formed in those young stages where all you do is want to wrestle, and you're not thinking about money, and you're not thinking about spots on the card, and you're just thinking about the love of your art of professional wrestling. And I see that in a lot of the eyes and in the hearts of the guys up there in APW, the Gym Wars. And, of course, the Beyond the Mat and me lover loves to be up there and just hanging out. And thankfully, APW is one of those spots on this never-ending tour that seems to be my life. I hope, I'm on tour, but I'm on tour my whole life, and I hope this never stops. I love going to new places, meeting new people, wrestling in different rings in front of different fans. And I invite you fans to come out to the show. So speaking of the Song of the Week this week, it is brought to you by Chikara Pro. Chikara is a great place with great wrestling and great fans, and I enjoy you to join in their family. They have a great Chikarmy, if you will. They have a family, and so they are doing shows this Saturday and Sunday, February 25th and 26th in Reading, Pennsylvania, and Long Island, New York. I'm going to be wrestling on them. They're going to be fun shows. Please check out Chikara Pro at chikarapro.com. Now, the Song of the Week is something that I didn't bring up with Dolph, but I forgot about it, and I just remembered it now, so I'll make it the Song of the Week. When Dolph would work out in the gym, he once showed me his iPod. It had 4 songs on it, and of the 4 songs, one of them was Billy Gunn's Ass Man, I'm an Ass Man, or Mr. Ass, or whatever the song is. And so I have no clue why, but he had 4 songs on repeat. He repeated them a couple times, and he knew his workout was done. So here's Ass Man, or I'm an Ass, Mr. Ass. I don't know. It's got to be one of the greatest songs ever, though, right? Enjoy it just like Dolph does on his iPod at the gym. And then we'll be back, and we'll talk with the man himself, Dolph Ziggler.
Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
Hey guys, each week we bring you the Art of Wrestling podcast absolutely free of charge. We're able to do that because of our supporters and sponsors, so please take a second, go on over and check these guys out. OneHourTees.com, custom t-shirts made to your liking in an hour, a week, or whenever you need them done. Are you a wrestler? Are you a band? Are you a company? Are you somebody who needs something done on a t-shirt? Get it done at OneHourTees.com. SundayNightStew.com. Hollywood Superstar Stu Stone is live and interactive on the internet every single Sunday night at SundayNightStew.com. Wrestle Talk TV, the world's fastest growing wrestling chat show. It's done with HD cameras and in the classiest studios over there in London, England. All the top stars are going to be over there at youtube.com/WrestleTalkTV. And, of course, tweakedaudio.com/Colt. The earbuds I use every single day get over 30% off and free shipping just because you listen to the show if you go to tweakedaudio.com/Colt. If you want to advertise on the Art of Wrestling podcast, you can. Just send an email over to coltwrestling@gmail.com. Subject, advertising. Thanks. All right, guys, how you doing? Back on the podcast with Dolph Ziggler.
Yes, it's me.
Now, Dolph, the first thing I say is, you know what Dolph is short for.
Dolphin, like such a high flyer, or
Adolf.
oh, like a Canadian saying hello to Dolph.
Hey, Dolph.
That's pretty good. I like
that. Maybe I'll start over. Is that bad?
Oh no, I don't care.
Are we ditching this?
My
Hold on.
real life, my great grandfather's name was Rudolph, so I get to. Oh shit.
Yeah.
Real life, my great grandfather's name was Rudolph. And before it became the extra popular Jim.
Right. Well, I remember my grandfather, or my father telling me that Dolph Hayes, you know Dolph Hayes?
Dolph Hayes?
Was a basketball player on the Bucks. And he was, at one time, one of the only Jewish basketball players.
No way.
So
at one time.
I don't know if there is anymore. There's Jewish Jordans, isn't there? There's so many Jewish Jordans. Like every 5 years, somebody's called the Jewish Jordan.
I think that's just to make you feel better. I don't know. Jewish Jordan.
Yeah, because there'll be a great basketball player who's like from some like synagogue or something. So how are you doing, my friend?
Doing well. I'm home for the holidays for a couple days, resting up. Been busy the last couple of weeks and months, so happy to finally get on the podcast.
Yes.
Took a while to get me here.
Well, you're a busy man. You're traveling the roads.
Yes.
You got a bus yet?
Yeah, I would say maybe right after Mania. I'm looking toward it.
You're going to be a bus man?
Yeah, like a school bus kind of thing. But I'll take off the S. It'll be the cool bus. I like that. Silent H.
Gotcha. I was the school boo. I was like, take off the S.
Boo is very in.
Yes. Well, if this is Malibu's Most Wanted, which is one of my favorite.
Great movie.
One of my favorites of all time.
Movie.
Yeah. And Small World, I somehow know Jamie Kennedy, kind of.
No way.
Yeah.
My family used to enjoy The Experiment together.
Yes. Just your family. You're not going to admit just you.
I stood in the hallway. And listen, I can't be that good. I hate you.
No, you are the heel, hashtagging. But you, I remember Brad Attitude used to call you heel, and I think Mondo used to call you heel.
One of my, the first couple of weeks I was in OVW, Nova, Mike Bucci, and Mondo started calling me heel because I don't know, I was kind of not from the independent scene coming in, so
you were immediately an asshole?
No, that wasn't totally it, but I was coming in and kind of speaking my mind where you kind of got to watch it a little bit, and just sit around and listen. So I kind of was like, oh, no, that doesn't make sense. That guy sucks. So what's... And so it was immediately heel, kind of in a fun way, but kind of stuck for a while. And I've basically, except for about 2 weeks, I've pretty much been working the bad guy side because it kind of fits me, I think. Lance Storm, my first day, maybe first week, said, I don't see how you could He goes, stop working on your arm drags. So,
what, you were 2 weeks as a good guy, as a goodie?
yeah, I had actually, I was just learning.
I like how you said you were like keeping all kayfabe with bad guy, yet you're the heel. It says on your sweatshirt.
Makes it different.
Okay, so I said goodie. I kept with it for
goodie,
it.
Bad guy.
Yeah, the blue
Favorite.
eye. Yeah, the favorite. Fan favorite. When did you fan favorite?
Me and Chet the Jet for about a week, and me and Steve Lewington for about a week. But it was as I was still learning, like how to kind of just training on how to fall down and do headlock takeovers and stuff. And Lance said, he goes, it's too natural. We're just gonna go with you as being a.
We're just gonna call you Natural. It was too natural.
Right, it was right in there
because your name was Natural.
Yeah, for a little bit. Thought it fit. All ends.
All ends. Natural Nick Nemeth.
Yes.
With no K at the end.
No K.
I remember you telling me.
Yeah, and even though I had it on a shirt at OVW, across the bottom of the screen it would go N-I-C-K, and I'd have my giant N-I-C shirt on. I go, whatever.
So,
got me out of some taxes.
But that was that an homage to Flair?
A huge fan of Flair, of course it was. One, I always thought, everyone said my name was such a cool, or not cool, it sounded like a wrestling name that for the first 6 months or a year, people thought that was the work name that I had been using, and it was just...
Fake name,
yeah,
for those who don't know the terminology.
Fakey. Pseudonym. I'm a huge fan of Ric Flair and old school Shawn Michaels. So everything Flair did, I watched over and over. And I go, if you want to be anybody, I'd want to be this guy. Be able to have a match with anybody and go an hour and do whatever.
So you were more of a fan of his wrestling than the fact that he didn't have a K on the end of Rick.
No, I decided. I go, man, I may not ever change my name. This might be the name. I know. Technically, I'll take the K off, and Mom and Dad, I changed my name. It's my new wrestling name. You might
don't worry, they can't find me. If I get stalked in the yellow pages, don't worry.
If I get pulled over, everything will be fine because it's like, oh, that's not me.
Were you one of those guys that said, like, once I get in wrestling, I'm definitely not going to have, like, I definitely want a fake name?
Before I got here, I go, I can't wait to see what name I'm doing. I can't wait to go up to the top rope and jump off as many times as I can. And a couple weeks in, I decided, I think I'll keep my name and maybe off the middle once in a while or something.
And it's funny, so Mondo and Storm called you the heel. They said because you didn't come from the world of indie wrestling.
Yeah.
And I'd imagine, so I'll tell you a couple quick stories. Like, I came down and visited Punk once at OVW, and I remember you and a bunch of the guys in the gym, and I'm just like, I just got back from Japan and whatever, and I was just on the hustle, and I'm like, look at all these guys, just, this is how it's done. And I had a vision of you, and I did a little bit even when I got signed, and it's so weird, I was thinking about this last night, and I even remembered where we had like a really good talk, I think, because it was Rip Rogers' hometown. Seymour, Indiana.
Wow.
There was a building. For some reason, I don't remember any of these buildings except like Owensboro or whatever. And there was a building in Seymour. I remember we were just talking Cleveland independent wrestling.
Oh, right, yeah.
And I was like, and we had a good talk, and I was like, holy shit, this guy does love wrestling. Right, yeah. And he knows everything about wrestling. Well, but enough to be like... Enough
to not just go, oh, my modeling career's not working out. My agent says try this.
But you didn't... I mean, that's a path... I don't think a lot of people like are diehard like you and I were, because I'll put you in the same boat as we were kids probably, and like just go right to the WWE though, to the system.
Right, yeah, and actually that's why I said kind of the heel thing was at the time when I was having my tryout and waiting to hear back, there were several guys very deserving of contracts that had been with OVW for a long time, and when it came around, when they were kind of deciding who was coming in or not, Bobby Lashley had called me because I kind of kept in contact. We did a tryout together, which great for me to walk in with him and go, who are they going to pick here? And he go, it's funny. But it's like he had gotten signed and kept in contact with me and said, hey, I've just let you know, I know you're a nice guy and stuff, but they're kind of very angry that a couple long-time guys there are not getting signed, and they hired a couple guys out. You don't have any experience. Just when you come here, don't give them any excuse. And I kind of came there with a lot of people, not a lot of people, but enough people kind of just not happy that I was there, not knowing, because I guess I could kind of look like I haven't,
for sure,
done the indie scene and stuff, but I was just a big fan who since I was 5 years old, and I just wanted to do it my whole life. So told myself, high school and college, if I can break some records, I can possibly get a foot in the door. Angle was kicking ass at the time, and I go, this would be great. Maybe I got a shot, So.
That's like I said, if I can just be a scrub on a Division I football team, maybe I could get in. You were like, I'm going to be the best of all time at amateur wrestling.
I never was really big, and I go, man, if you can get in there, being like having broken all these records or just so good that they go, we got to give this guy a tryout or something. And I mixed as much professional wrestling at the time I got
into your amateur wrestling.
Yeah.
Stop.
I was flat out a bad guy my entire college career. Which
you came out awesome. to the mats with a cape. I
wanted to, but instead I got. I think it's against the rules. We got at our home dual meets, Division I college wrestling program. I got us 1 minute entrance music per weight class, and guys had to come up with their stuff. Mike Tolar, who I think you know from OVW, he wrestled he was 157, I was 165. He came out to Rob Van Dam's ECW song, Pantera. And I wanted to come out to Ric Flair's song because I wanted to let everyone know.
This is a lot of pressure. You made this move here.
Yeah.
You got to pick a good song.
I couldn't believe and somehow I won every week. So my coaches said, yeah, whatever. I don't, just we'll go with the minute intros or whatever you want to do. And we literally had a clock count down the minute. So I'd waited till about 10 seconds out. I'd dump some water in my hair, smack myself in the face, just casually stroll out. I wanted to come out to Flair's music because I go, hey, at the time, he was a very highly regarded, best ever guy, and I'd been a big fan.
No K on the end of that name.
No K.
Right.
When I stepped on the mat, no K. And it wasn't pumping up enough following, Tolar coming out to Walk by Pantera. So I had to go with Triple H's old entrance to the game. And I dumped the water on my head, slapped myself, and walked down to the mat. And usually won.
That's
all the time.
Well, it worked for him.
Yeah. I'd say he was the champ. He was winning. I go, this will be me.
Have you ever told him that? Have you ever told anyone that?
I let it slip out a couple times here and there. Haven't personally told him to his face, but I was like, yeah, this guy, he's the man. I want to be the man. So here's what we're going to do,
Because there's a lot of guys, maybe not on the roster anymore, but even through my career, there's guys that I just see and I just want to be like, oh, this to you, sir. This to but you just don't.
You don't. Yeah, my parents are like, did you get pictures when you were hanging out with Flair backstage talking about old wrestling? I go, I didn't want to ruin it. It's like we're sitting here because his son was wrestling for a competing high school for the high school championships, number 1 and number 2, where I went. And our team was number 1 in high school in the country. And we sat next to each other. This was a couple years back, and we're just talking back and forth like old time buddies.
Yeah, sure.
This is the greatest minutes of my life. And I was like, do I say this? Like, no. Like, hey, man, yeah, we just went back and forth like buddies, and I didn't want to ruin it. And it was so cool. And I got to do it so many times. You don't want to ruin it.
Yeah.
You'd be like, oh, by the way, my entire life has been trying to follow what you've done every minute, And you just, okay, cool, yeah, I'll check you later, whatever.
It is. It's it's a half professional, half. I mean, I told a story the other day of Bruce. I see Bruce Beefcake, and I'm like, "What's up, Barber?" And it's just all I can think about is the LJN with the thumb out, and just all these guys. But it's almost. I don't know if maybe. I think on some, guys like yourself and probably Zach's a great example of we can change the way our generation is as just nerd wrestling fans, and be top guys or make money in wrestling. Yeah. And he's obviously doing a great example. I did want to. Yeah. Sorry, I want to bounce back to that 1 minute meeting. Did you have to? Was there a board meeting to get this? I don't know the rules in amateur wrestling.
There are so many little things that go into it's really complicated to do and to change things around. It's I don't know how we got it. Honestly, I don't know how we got it through. My coach just said do it. We did it. The other team had no idea what was going on. They're just looking around, and I go, had anybody kind of paid any attention, they could be like, hey, you can't do this.
Right.
And they'd be like, oh yeah, right, sorry. You know what I mean? So we got away with it. I loved it. And I played very cocky because I won all the time. So I was like, hey, what am I going to do? We got 8 people in the seats at our,
Even
I'm calling them shows, at our shows. And I go, what can we do to get everyone in here? So
you're telling the 98 bannerweights, have a better opener, would you? Are they the openers? I don't know.
Yeah. But 125 was our first, and it was like, how can we get more people? I want to be the star of our show here, or at least get people coming.
Even at Kent State?
Kent State.
That's a top. Nobody comes to wrestling, huh?
No, it's
when you were on Sports Channel,
into a really good program. Like top 20 in the country is doing really well. They just had a national champion. But when I was there, we were kind of struggling. Once in a while catching the top 25, usually kind of in the middle somewhere. But it was a Division I program that we wrestled a lot of top guys in the country. We go to the national tournament. We got the number 1 guys in the country, facing our guys, and I wanted more people watching.
Yeah,
it's so bad, and we kind of worked something out where we got these. Our rival was Ohio University, and we were actually somehow at the end of the season, it was coming down like the winner wins the conference, and I got shirts drawn up. They're OU, so I got FOU.
Nice.
I got the idea from the ECF&W shirt that I had that I think Tommy Dreamer may have packaged and sent to my house.
Right now that you think about it,
yeah, and we got those shirts. We got everybody, every girl team that we knew, and every one-night girlfriend I had from college. Everybody was there, and we ended up.
So obviously, packed house.
It was a packed as good as it gets for us. Like all the lower bleachers filled, and people going nuts. And it was a special thing, and somehow. Because of a flip of a coin, we didn't start at 125 and go up. We went with me and one more match after me last. And long story short, I bumped up a weight class to wrestle a certain guy strategy-wise. I ended up beating him in overtime. And there's like the place popped big on the finish. It was
like
really,
Teen Wolf.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Like a movie.
So not Teen Wolf 2 so much, but more like Teen Wolf 1.
Well, the sport was more like Teen Wolf 2, but the atmosphere was...
It was a cool thing, and we actually had it work out, and it was fun, a packed house, and it was a really fun deal for us.
Did you see any other wrestlers that are on the scene now? I know you said Tolar was on your team, and he did OVW, and I watched him do about 18 tryouts and not get a contract.
Yeah.
Any other guys?
I'm trying to think. Not in a bad way, because I was kind of a lot of guys didn't frown upon WWE, but a couple guys who were looking to one day move on to the Olympics and stuff kind of looked down.
So you were oh really?
Yeah, but everybody else was I actually got a lot of people watching, WCW and WWE on Monday nights. We'd have some fun and have a couple beers.
But I don't know if you fall into you see a Shelton Benjamin or something on the other side, or I don't.
I'm trying to think. I was at the national tournament maybe my freshman or sophomore year, and wrestling on the mat right before me was Brock Lesnar, going into the semis at heavyweight. And I just remember seeing that guy's huge. I was 4% fat and drinking water to breathe and cutting weight.
Yeah, did you do all that stuff?
Yeah.
Miserable?
Actually, a little bit, but high school I think I tried to overdo it more than ever. College I kind of eventually I wrestled 165 for 5 years in college. So I kind of found where I needed to be, and eventually it was all right.
You always told me, you just touched upon it a little bit, but always the best story I love of yours is when you talk about Bobby Lashley. Is you said I got this tryout. I'm coming in. How could I not?
I don't remember a lot of things. I remember waiting at the budget rental car. They said, look for a guy named Bobby Lashley. And in your head, if you pictured a person named Bobby Lashley, you don't picture Bobby Lashley.
Right.
I'm like, who's this little nerd who's this guy going to be? And then I'm standing there, and eventually there's only one guy left. And I go, are you Bobby Lashley? He goes, yeah, hey, what's up? I went, I'm like, me and him on a tryout, and he looks like Mr. Olympia, and I finished my 165-pound season a couple weeks earlier. I'm like, I am ruined no matter what happens.
And so thinking that, if they're not giving out a million contracts.
Right. And I had assumed that that's not what the case was. It was I don't even know if he's going to get hired. I don't know any ins and outs of anything except for I had read Mick Foley's book, and for a couple weeks before threw myself over the hood of the car onto the grass
What?
and filled up, and even in my
To
wrestling,
get ready for wrestling?
have all these like half golf balls on my back. I go, I'm going to be more ready than anybody else. I wasn't prepared for Lashley, but
Hold on, that's how you got ready for...
that was some of it.
Because I guess you didn't have access to a wrestling ring.
No, and they would let me work out at my high school because they've known since I started going there that I wanted to do this. So it's the 1-inch wrestling pads. So I was constantly, just practicing bumping on there and falling down and trying to be okay. And
But you can't know how to bump unless you have been taught.
Yeah. I had no idea.
So you're just... were you just hucking yourself to the ground?
For a while, over the hood of the car to the ground sucked.
Well, that's a given.
And but I'm gonna say it helped because I had like these half golf balls all over my back, like from just falling down. And no matter what, I go, when I come here and these guys haven't done whatever I've been doing,
Haven't been throwing themselves over the car.
To where they're injured. If they haven't done this, I'm gonna be hitting and bouncing up. I got this figured out. And for some reason in my head, I don't like losing at anything. So I was like, I would bump or try something, and even if it kind of got me or whatever, I'd snap right up and try and be like, yeah, look, I got this all figured out. And apparently it worked.
But you said you didn't get signed right away, right?
Yeah, the first time through going in with Lashley, we did a couple things. And actually, Lance was not there yet. Rip was teaching everybody. And we just went through some drills, and Dr. Tom came down. And it was, we both did okay. Lashley's really athletic, jacked. And like,
oh really?
Yeah. It was like, I was like, maybe he can't jump or something. I don't know. Like he's
everything.
He's a nice guy. He looks like $1 million. I go, can he do something?
Right.
Maybe he's not a huge a fan as I am, and if they do some trivia, and I can get some bonus points, and get tired, And he was a nice guy, and I was like, God, it'd be nice, And he ended up getting signed, and they told me put on some pounds.
He passed the trivia test.
Yeah.
He knew WrestleMania 1 opener was Buddy Rose under a hood.
Love Buddy Rose.
Yeah. You have hair like Buddy Rose almost.
I heard my build was similar. I've always been.
Yeah? You're on the blow-away diet?
Before the Atkins kicked in.
What is your diet? That's disgusting what you look like, by the way. Amazing, by the way. Disgusting amazing.
I wasn't ever a bigger guy, so I somehow realized watching TV, the leaner I was, that somehow it worked to my advantage to at least make me, a little bit bigger. So I've just been concentrating on getting lean for the last couple of years.
And a trick of yours that I know very well is tanning.
Oh, yeah.
Jesus.
Actually,
do you worry about that stuff?
I don't do, since I've moved to Arizona about a year ago, I lay out in the sun sometimes. I don't do tanning beds, maybe once a month if I have a pay-per-view match coming up or something. And it's this day and age with the kids, it's all the fake rub-on and the fake tan spray. And usually the night before I'll do some stuff. If I'm too tired, I won't even do it. And I'm kind of over the whole tanning thing these days.
A lot of people aren't as worried in the wrestling industry as Billy Corgan went on the news recently and was talking about like head trauma, Oh
yeah.
But I'm more worried about tanning cancer. I think
it's a big deal. It's a scary thing.
Yeah.
It's like it can happen from either being in the sun or doing that all the time. And I was like, man, I don't. That's when I had in Louisville, I was kind of tanning 5 days a week in a tanning bed, and then laying out in the sun, and then putting some rub on tanner. It looked great.
Yeah.
But I go.
I didn't want to say anything. But you did
at some point, I go, this can't be good. So I just slowly weaned myself off of it, and now I just rub on every couple days or a couple days leading to a TV.
How's Arizona?
I love it.
Did you have any Arizona ties?
Before,
you're a Midwest guy.
Yeah, Cleveland, Ohio. Before I got my tryout, I had an aunt and uncle out in Phoenix, Scottsdale. And when I graduated, I was going to go to ASU's law school. I did some homework. I minored in pre-law stuff. I had good grades. And if you live there residency for 6 months with a license, the law school went from like $18,000 to like $3,500. It was like some ridiculous huge chunk off for county to live there. So I decided to pack my stuff. They said I could live in their spare room. I got a license my first day, and I was waiting for the fall semester to start. I was about 3.5 months in, and it was maybe a month or two before that fall semester was starting, and I came back, got my first tryout. That didn't go over so well, so I hung around in Cleveland and actually went with Brian Keck for 1 or 2 different workouts. He was in their developmental system for a while. He was a coach at Cleveland State. Does some MMA stuff now, but he taught me to tie up and kind of move some in footwork, and then I went back and got my second tryout.
So you owe your contract to Brian Keck.
Yeah, they go get, go train with somebody for a little bit, get some expertise. I'm like, okay, and I met with him for an hour.
But you knew the guys around town because you've been going to the right. You've been going to
Cleveland for a while. Like I used to go to the Richfield Coliseum, which is before Cleveland had an arena. Like the Cavs played there and stuff. And that's when I was first one I saw. I was 5 years old, and it was the Bulldogs versus the Hart Foundation in a cage, and Hulk Hogan versus Harley Race in the main event. And since then, I would, my dad would take me to a show here and there. We go to Cleveland, like the local ones or whatever.
Would your dad take you to local shows?
Yeah, he took me to one or two, and I can't remember.
My dad refused to take me to local shows.
Really?
And he refused to take me to WCW.
He thought it was disloyal?
We're only going to the Rosemont Horizon. Like that's the only wrestling we go to. Yeah.
None of that. Yeah, that's cool.
UIC Pavilion, Steamboat and Flair.
They sound made up those days.
But he would take you to the local shows?
Yeah.
Who was the first local, I
can't remember. I have such a bad memory.
You don't remember a local? I
remember seeing the giant, the Flyers, and I remember Sheik was scheduled for the next month when they were in town, and I don't remember. We got 2 or 3 a long time ago.
What about the first independent person that ever made? There was Haystacks Ross. I remember him on Sports Channel when I was 6 or something, and he was in Windy City Wrestling.
Wow, no way.
Haystacks.
WCW.
Yes, Windy City Pro Wrestling at the time. Sorry. And I think I found him on AOL. Like when I was 13, I found him on AOL Instant Messenger or something.
No
or
way.
before there was Instant Messenger, there was you pay $100 for an hour. I don't know if you remember those days.
And it took about that long.
Yeah.
There's a chicken bikini.
Yes.
Yeah, that's great.
And then I found him and I messaged him, and I remember he was so nice.
Wow.
And I remember him asking him if he did e-wrestling. Because I was like, oh, you'll love it.
You'll love it.
And now I know exactly how he probably felt.
Yeah.
Because of all the weird shit I get.
Right.
And he was so nice.
That's awesome that he was nice.
Haystacks Ross was all right, yeah. I mean, never like a big star or anything.
Right, but that's, a nice guy. You got to actually see him. I'm trying... Chris Hamrick I saw at a show and went, whoa, that guy's awesome. Got to say hi for a second. Tracy Smothers, big fan of his. Stole a lot of his stuff from my off-air promos and such. I wish I could remember more, but I was a Cleveland All-Pro.
Did you see me in Punk Wrestle?
I didn't see you guys. Man, who the heck did I see?
That was like 01, 02 probably.
Right before she got signed, I saw Mickie James at a Cleveland All-Pro show, and Raven and somebody, and maybe Raven and Buff Bagwell or something.
Ooh.
And I think
would you go with your brother, or would you?
Normally, I'd take one or two of my brothers, or I actually took one. I think when I was 17 to an ECW live event, and that was very scary to have a couple younger brothers with the language and things that happened.
Sure. Were you like a protective father? Like, this is an outrage.
No, but
at 17?
I had seen the pub, on my black and white non-cable TV. I'm like, oh, these guys are cool. They occasionally bleep something out, whatever. And what I felt bad for was looking in the crowd and seeing all the fathers, real ones, with their little kids waiting for Hulk Hogan kind of guys to give the thumbs up and say, eat your vitamins instead of eating something else. It was just ridiculous.
That Bubba Ray. He's.
I remember telling Dreamer, I go, it was Dreamer and Carino. I go, that is the worst, most boring match I've ever seen, and it seemed like it drug on for an hour. Later, for him to tell me he had a broken neck and he was doing a 1 hour Broadway, where I was like, oh, okay. It still wasn't that good.
Do you remember, even not even really understanding wrestling, you just remember.
What the hell are you doing?
So you get signed, you live the life. You were a developmental wrestler for a long time.
Yeah.
And obviously you did the 2 gimmicks that were there.
Right, yeah.
I'd love to know, your inner thoughts of, am I fucked? Is my career, even at all stages almost? Because now you're doing excellent.
Working hard.
Mazel tov.
Staying busy.
Mazel tov.
Shalom. I remember, I think at the time, Tommy Dreamer was in Dr. Tom's spot, which is now Ty Bailey's spot, kind of the in-between. And I've been going to Mondo's class, Lance's class, and Rip's class. I go, these guys have obviously been doing this for years, and I'm trying to catch up. So every day I was doing 2 or 3 practices. I go, I'm gonna do a year of wrestling in 2 or 3 months, and to be good to go. And I remember Tommy Dreamer coming down and saying, and they kind of having little evaluations, everybody, and him and Danny Davis go, hey, you know what, you're doing great. Stay clean cut. We have this idea of maybe possibly you and Angle. He's going to be your mentor. You'll be like this, kind of your real life deal. I go, oh, this is great. I go, yeah, don't get any tattoos. Don't screw up. Keep your hair short, clean cut. I go, this is going to be awesome. And then,
how early was that? Was that like 2 or 3 months into?
Maybe 3 or 4.
And that was your first. Hey, we might have something for you, which probably lasted 4 years after that, right?
It was. Man, I'm trying to think. Maybe about 6 or 7 months in, they go, me and Jeter and a couple of the girls for OVW were at like a signing, and I think Tommy Dreamer called to talk to Mickey James and Jeter about something, about work, and then said, hey, put Nemeth on the phone, and he goes, yeah, we're calling you up, you're going to be the caddy, you're going to do this, this, and this, and you're flying out tomorrow morning, and you do this on Monday. I go, wait, what? What do I do? He goes, I don't know, figure it out. And he hung up.
Yes.
Okay, I go, all right. So I go, what the hell do caddies wear? I go, I don't even know what golf guys wear. Collared shirts and, I don't know, be annoying. Like, I don't know what the deal was.
Well, if you watched Happy Gilmore for...
I said, 364 more days till next year's wrestling tryouts, and have them throw boots at me or something. But I go, I honestly didn't even know what the heck to do, like what to say. I got these headlock takeovers down, and if someone throws me, I can kind of land and tuck my chin. So it's scary.
At that point, so when I got Scotty Goldman, I was 11 years into wrestling or something, but I'm saying more of I was like, okay, this is it. If this doesn't work, this is how long I've worked to, if this doesn't work, I'm fucked.
Right.
So, but do you say that I'm a caddy, I'm going to make the most of this? Or are you oh shit, I'm a caddy? Yeah. Is this where my career's going?
It's being new to the system and not knowing how things work and thinking I was doing a good job and go, oh man, I don't know where this is going, but all right, let's do whatever you can. And it lasted 2 or 3 months at the most, and when that ended, I go, all right, this is kind of cool. We're doing stuff on TV. I got Chavo, who's been around forever. I'm a new guy. He was showing me the ins and outs of everything. He'd even get in the ring and just tie up with me and move around. He's really helped me out. And when Eddie passed away, they canceled the thing, and I went overseas anyway and worked 2 weeks with Tajiri, and then I was a manager on the outside, and they go...
As you wrestled Tajiri?
Yeah.
As what, the caddy? Did you even have a name as a caddy?
Yeah, I asked, and they said you're keeping your name, but I was usually just called, the caddy.
The caddy. Yeah. What if the caddy had an action figure?
That'd be... probably Nah, I wasn't even close. Never mind. That'd be cool.
If Mattel came out with the caddy and
polo
Mickey
shirt with
and...
the sleeves cut off.
Like a 3-pack.
Yeah. The 3 faces of not Foley. Yeah. And the thing was, they go, I'm on this plane going overseas without Chavo, the guy I've been talking to, and I go, what am I going to do? And they go, we'll figure something out. So
Do you feel like you didn't have your, he was just your crutch?
Not
for everything? Not
a crutch for everything, but with him not coming, I go, what am I going for? Like I said, I'm so new that I want to be really good at stuff, but I don't think I am. And they go, we'll figure something out. Maybe you'll manage this. So he's like, okay, I can do that. And I think about an hour and a half before showtime of the first show, they go, oh, yeah, your first match, you and Tajiri. Oh, by the way, he doesn't really speak English.
You're a rookie.
Well, that's okay, I don't really wrestle yet, so this will be perfect. And it turned out to not be that bad. I took the most basic things I could do, back then, in the old days, we could choke and stuff. So I'd have my polo shirt, and I would take it off and act like I was going to choke Tajiri, and the ref would take it away, and I'd grab my caddy bib and choke him and put a hold on and take a bunch of kicks, and then that was it.
Now, did you know they have a caddy gimmick in Tajiri's Smash promotion now?
Do they really?
No, I made...
Say, poor guy.
You made such an impression on him.
Yeah, he never forgot.
So they tell you, so it's gone, it's stripped.
They go, the culmination of the tour, it's Fit as the behind-the-scenes agents at the time, and Steamboat. They go, man, great job. I think they liked me because I had wrestled in the past. I worked hard. I wasn't like a jerk. I don't know. And they go, man, you did so great. Congratulations. We cheers with the beer. He goes, oh, by the way, the entire gimmick's over with. You're going back to OVW, but they got some things in mind for you. And I remember going to my room that night and just assuming that, that was it.
So you made that assumption?
I assumed that's it. Like, some people get good chances. Some people get you never know. Like, Sean Spears, big fan of his, loved working with him, and it's like, sometimes you don't get the vignettes. You get a chance to go out there, and either it works or it doesn't, and it's like, And it's, I go, man, that was it. I had fun. I went overseas. Like, I got to wrestle Tajiri. I was a big ECW
Sure.
fan. I was like, this is awesome. And I go, that's it. I just remember going home so bummed, telling my parents, I go, I think I'm done. I'm going to keep wrestling here, in the minors. I think I keep getting paid. I don't know. And literally the thing they said, they had something in mind for me, as we're all thinking, it was like a new age 4 Horsemen, or, we're going to execute somebody live and we're going to be the new, and they, a couple months later, pulled me, Dykstra, not Mondo at the time.
Not Jeter either, right?
The Pope.
Yes.
Elijah, and not Jeter. Oh, Nick Mitchell.
Okay.
Of course, how could I forget? And they pulled us into a small room, and it was Vince, and this is...
Wait, so you guys got called to a TV without knowing?
Yeah, I think we were in Louisville, so we got called like a Cincinnati TV, told something was coming for us or something, and we had a chance to talk with Vince, and he was like, this is awesome. And it was this is going to be an awesome, never before done thing, and we were like, what are we doing?
But he hasn't spit out what it is yet.
Yeah,
he's just like
he goes, it's male cheerleaders, and it's going to be awesome, it's great. And I kind of went,
That was your first reaction,
yeah. I just did this. I go, what happened to the angle thing? And it was like, all right, we're going to have fun. I'm going to be best shape. I'm going to stayed with the 2 and 3 practices a day. I go, we're going to kill this no matter what. And we ended up having a ton of fun. We wrestled a ton of legends and DX and everybody. Like, as much as we bumped and fed and kind of got bumped around by everybody, we had a blast. And we was part of a tag team champions. Like, I go, if this is it,
right.
All right, I had some fun, and guys I kind of knew from OVW, we became really good friends, just screwing around and having fun, and it was like we got to get in the ring with like Triple H, Shawn Michaels, Ric Flair. I go, if this is it, I got lucky, you know what I mean, and on to other stuff, and that wasn't it somehow.
And then when they put you in the box and they shipped
us away,
then now your mind, you gotta be. I mean, it's not like you were specifically fucked with,
right?
But boy, are they fucking with your head.
It was, and you see it as a pot. Like, okay, every time they have something, they kind of have me in mind for it.
True.
It just hasn't worked out, or I go, okay, if this is it, we had fun, whatever. And they said we were all free to go home and do whatever we wanted. We didn't have to go to practices. We didn't have to do whatever. So I stayed home for about a week, and then started driving from. I was living with my parents. Sleeping on the couch, driving back and forth to Louisville. I would come for the TV on Wednesday. I'd get in the ring with Mondo before the TV, wrestle around.
And I think that's when I started, when I was there with you.
Right, yeah.
I remember you were, I think, 4 on, 3 off or whatever.
Yeah. It's usually I come Wednesday through whatever loop of shows, go home for 2 days, and drive back down or whatever. And I go, no matter what, I don't want to move back down here, but I'm going to be here all the time, getting matches in, working and rolling around. I go, if I'm not let go and there's one more chance for me, I go, I will be in the best shape I can be. They will want me to be in there with their best guys, making them look good. I go, no matter what, that's my new goal. There is no, he's kind of ready. Like, oh, wow, this is the guy. So I tried, and I got some dark matches here and there. Kind of got told too over the top with some stuff, and
you had a bodyguard.
I had
Rob Terry.
Oh, holy cow! Yeah.
You impressed that I remember that?
Big Rob.
That's how big of a wrestling fan I am.
Big Rob. I still see him on TNA these days.
That didn't work out, or
it was it was really fun. Steve Kern in FCW had me kind of working some extra practices with Big Rob in case they did something with us. And he was a big, giant guy who looked like $1 million if you don't know him. And he's got an accent, which is always cool. And he was a little new to the wrestling.
Love sweet potatoes.
Is that? Oh yeah, I love sweet potatoes and sleeveless dress shirts.
Yes.
That was that. If you knew anything, it was that and sweet potatoes. And so we were kind of constantly, when he'd have that beginner's practice in one ring, me and him would just be moving around and have me bump around or roll around, just trying to make him comfortable. And I believe John Cena came to a Bourbon Street show and kind of saw me going against who would be Ezekiel Jackson now, with Big Rob in my corner and kind of getting pressed out to the floor. And
what was his name then?
In his arms. It's so funny because Dusty always said it differently.
I can't even remember.
Not Rampagey, but something like that.
Rampage?
Something.
Isn't that funny? Like, that's all I knew him of, and now all I know him is Ezekiel. I don't even remember. Yeah.
Oh, what was it? It was a funny name because...
Darius?
No. That is a funny name.
I think that's a Hootie and the Blowfish, isn't it? All right, well, I don't want to get stuck on Darius Jackson.
So, we had a fun match. I was getting pressed to the floor or like flying out of the ring and jumping in Big Rob's arms and having some fun on the mic and doing whatever and just try to stand out from everybody else. Everyone else is kind of like, it was definitely a developmental learning territory with a couple of seasoned guys around, but a lot of kind of brand new guys. So I wanted to stand out, and we were kind of having fun. And I believe John Cena said, "Hey, you guys got to check these guys out. They're having fun and it's entertaining." So we had one dark match together.
Yeah,
and it was against Spanky, and it was okay. Big Rob, was a little nervous, and it went okay. Nothing great.
But I mean, these are you don't know that you're going to become Dolph Ziggler. These are I mean, these are your moments of trying to just grasp to anything.
Is this the thing? Like, okay, there's no more chances. Right? Like, this has to be it. And so I did everything I could. Had him, like, I'd hide behind him. We had some fun, and it wasn't really what they were looking for at the time, and so that we kind of stopped doing a couple dark matches, and that kind of ended.
But I mean, eventually we were in Florida, and you did get the call up.
Yep.
I remember you did a ballsy move. I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but like
ballsy.
Well, no, but I remember they gave you some other name, and you were just like, no. Right? Something I should have done, but I didn't. Right. And you were like, no, I want to be something else. I'm trying to think.
I remember speaking up about something.
I think it was Diggler. Is that right?
Yeah. It was, you know what? Honestly, I got a phone call. I can't remember from who. It was, hey, what's up? We're going to call you David Diggler. What do you think? And I went, oh, I don't know. That sounds terrible.
Yeah, you said that sounds terrible.
This sounds terrible. He goes, well, we're going back into a meeting in about 15 minutes, and it's finalized then. So find something with a double D name. I hung up. I Googled. I mass texted everyone on my phone, and I remember a long time ago saying something about Dolph, and a friend of mine from home he goes, oh, what about, if you're going with a D, what about Dolph? My dad's name was Don. I put that on the list. I was just putting D names down, And I go, Dolph. I go, yeah, the bad guy in Rocky IV, Dolph Lundgren. I was a huge fan of all of his Showtime movies. And,
He-Man?
Yeah. Oh God, of course. I'm a big He-Man fan anyway. And I go, he's Jack. He's the bad guy. This is perfect. So I go, okay, Dolph, something with a D, and I'll let them figure it out. I pitched a bunch of stuff. And that day they go, oh, it's Ziggler. It's different. It stands out. That's it. I went, all right. Well, happy to be here. So,
right on. Yeah.
So that's how that happened.
And there it is.
Yeah.
Let's get a couple more things in here. I wanted to talk to you about Howie Mandel. I don't know why. You were on that show. Was that okay?
Yeah. Was that okay?
It was at its hotness, wasn't it?
Yeah, we were. That was cool.
What show is that called again?
It was
Money Bank.
Dang it! Pictionary? No.
Pictionary.
Match Game 76, I think it was.
Win, lose, or draw. I think Money in the Bank?
Was the host, I think.
Money in the Bank fist pump?
I think it was Money in the Bank something. And the thing is, they took... What the heck?
The banker. You were the banker.
I was the banker. Like, I assumed I would be standing there pointing to a briefcase or something, but I actually got to be the bad guy on the show and, like, tell people, no deal. Like, or they
Deal or no deal. Hey!
I knew it would just happen organically.
There it is.
And it was fun. I had a blast. I got to trash, like, a little studio and tell people, no, you're going to be poor.
Did they give you rules, or did you...
They kind of give me
How's
rules.
the difference between a production of a WWE show and a production of Deal or No Deal, besides the sanitary napkins that Howie Mandel uses?
And the closed fist with something wrapped over
Right.
bump. It was, you know what?
What if you had, like, fake skin on the back because he's a germaphobe?
I could, like one of those Ryder orange foam fist things.
No, I'm thinking more of like a latex, like, you know, like
So
you have
no
to peel it
matter
away.
what, you could peel it away.
Yeah, and it looks real, but it's not.
I like that.
Yeah.
Especially if it's just such a air fist. You can pull it off. That was fun.
The difference of production, I don't know.
That was it was on a very tight schedule because I think we did 2 episodes or something. They were doing 3 or 4 for the day or something. It was like zip, 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 in and out, and that was it. And it was had a little artistic freedom, but and he would occasionally use some of the lines that I said to him over the phone about the guy, whoever's there, and half of them were just like made up that he was.
Yeah. Wait, you're talking to him.
He's
And
like,
you're actually talking to him?
Let's talk to the banker, and he goes, the guy will be like, hey, say this. So I'd say this, and then
But sometimes you'd be like, eat my balls.
Like, look at this guy. He looks, I don't know. Like, obviously you need the money.
What if, Howie, I loved you in Gremlins.
Yeah.
Did you throw that out there?
No.
Oh. Wow.
The thing with where you blow up the glove.
Yeah, from his comedy special in
1984.
I did it. That's what I kind of want to end on. Is
Let me get to any comedy.
yeah, we
stuff.
we share a love of comedy.
Yes.
You've been pushing Archer a lot, but we'll go back and forth of who we like, stand up, and just in general. I don't know. You like Archer's your thing now, huh?
Archer, I love. It's a great show. A lot of sexual
Alicia Tyler,
innuendo.
you like her? I don't.
Aisha.
Sorry. Are you a big Fifth Wheel fan?
I used to watch all those things when they were replayed at like 2 a.m.
I watched them right after school when they were fresh and new.
Fresh and new. No spoilers though.
You know, if you go back and watch all those dating shows, you'll probably see a lot of stars. Because they were using that for their right.
And that's pretty neat.
Yeah.
Real quick, we got to do a tribute to the troops 2 weeks ago, and I met George Wallace, who, by the way, was like the first ever stand-up I ever saw, like on TV when I was like 6 or 7 years old. Is on the comic strip or the Sunday comics.
Nice.
Like after Tracy Ullman or something on a Sunday, and I go, "You were the first guy," and I remembered the bits he did and everything.
Really?
I remember one bit he would be like,
"Black people are like this, and white people are like this."
Like this, la la la. No, he was. I think he had the same hat or whatever, but he was like. He's like, I was in San Diego yesterday, and he'd tell some joke. Well, I was in Hawaii yesterday, and he did it like halfway through. Everyone starts getting it, and I never forgot that. And I go, hey man, big fan. And he's a big wrestling fan.
He is, and he's he's documented him. And there's a Miller, I forget his name, but he's in everything. He's kind of balding. I think he was. Do you know?
Bald Miller.
Yes, kind of talks like this.
Yeah, he's like he's a bad guy.
Usually,
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah,
dang it,
I'm forgetting. But they would be poor New York guys. I hear these in all their
Larry Miller. Yeah,
they would be
awesome.
poor New York stand-up comics, and they would get the last row. They'd go to the Garden every month.
No way.
In like the 70s, they would talk about it. Him and George Miller.
Wow.
And it was just like, and Larry Miller's like been an advocate. I think he's been around. Have you seen?
Man, I've never seen him, but he's like a snipey bad guy with some stuff, and he's great.
Yeah, hilarious.
Oh, God, that's good to know.
Yeah. What else? I'm watching. I'm thinking of Adult Swim. Children's Hospital I like a lot.
Hospital's awesome.
Yeah.
I love all that stuff. And I'll go home. If I got 2 days at home, I'll just go to the Comedy Central and like go just scroll all the way through and tape some stuff. And usually at like 3 a.m. you'll get
that's
somebody's
a technique.
30-minute stand-up. Or you just go all the way through and tape them. And the next day I see them. And that's why I'll text you like, hey, I just saw this guy. What's the deal? You know, like, oh, I've been telling you about him for years.
I've got
like,
this.
Yeah. Like, oh, he's a jerk. Don't watch his comedy.
Right.
Like, all right.
It's a hack.
Yeah. Like,
I know. Stole my wrestling material.
And when I can, like for a while, I was doing once a month. I'd go to LA and just go to a couple comedy shows or improv shows and just go to them. And just saw Mick Foley at the UCB. They had a UCB wrestling.
Yeah, they asked me to do that. My buddy Zach, and I just couldn't find the time.
Right.
It's like a Thursday night at 11.
There. Yeah, they have like a certain night of the week, and he was doing it based off right off of Survivor Series at MSG. He goes, it's 4 blocks away. Like, okay, cool.
Oh, the one he did the one after.
He did, like, the late show, so we went there. That was fun to watch. That was great, actually.
So you grew up watching McFoley do stand-up? Is that?
But yeah, did he do anything else? No, big fan of Foley's my whole life. Yeah, the stand-up only. No.
That was one of my. I was thinking about because I think he wanted me to open for him, and I was just thinking of like material, like or at this wrestle reunion, and I was just like thinking of like. I guess I don't want to say it on here, but like someone selling you, like the craziest motherfucker who jumped off the 25-foot. Like, imagine how hilarious he is, but he is.
Talking quietly at the podium with his glasses on. No, that was really fun. And I remember me and you, I remember very few things. We were in Florida, and we go, hey, we're going to go do this open mic thing in a couple weeks, and we're going to write some material.
Yeah.
And,
Nigel was trying.
You guys ended up going.
I didn't go.
Oh, you didn't go?
No.
He did. Oh. Whatever it was, I think it was like I was nervous and writing down material. I don't even know how to write jokes or material.
None of us
I was like writing stuff down. I wanted to get a book on how to do it, never found it. But I think I got called up like the weekend of, or the Tuesday at 11 when it was happening. So I go, man, you know what? I got to start doing that.
Yeah.
So I scribbled some stuff down for Ryder's show for a little while. I was trying to.
And it's nice though, is it like? As weird as it is, like, and I know, like you say, you're doing stuff for Ryder's show, like, just that idea. Like when I was doing stand up with Mick, or when I do like, even the podcast, if I'm producing a segment, like, I don't know, it's just nice to produce something and like, hey, or the web series I do, right. Just to produce comedy and then like make it come out every week.
And people see it.
Right.
It's like, holy cow, you can do that? Like, yeah.
So even though you're wrestling in front of 17,000 people, sometimes just making a little bit for a little YouTube show is rewarding.
This is gonna kill. Yeah. What, you're not putting up till Friday? Come on. I can only watch on my phone so much, but out of context.
Yeah. Well, fuck, man. There it is. Appreciate you being on the show, bud. The Twitter is obviously at Heel Ziggler.
Obviously.
Hashtag heel.
Yeah, if you want to throw that in there.
Yeah. Do you have any other...
Get it trending, I might win a Slammy next year.
Yeah. But then you'd have to rap against Michael Cole to win the Slammy back.
Yeah.
So...
Never mind.
If you...
It was a good run.
Do you have other stuff that people... I don't know.
Really.
If promoters want to book you,
go through the Stamford, Connecticut office.
You did do third. Have you done a third party appearance?
I don't think I really have. I've done a couple appearances with WWE. Nothing third party yet.
Because when I had Brian on, he had just come from doing a signing for the Mattel figures. Oh. And I was like, oh, this is probably, man, you're probably doing all these. He's like, no, it's the only one I've ever done. Yeah. Like, no one wants me.
He's just getting going. He won't be home for a couple months, I think, from here on out.
Oh, true. He is the champ.
Yeah.
Well, cool, man. Well, you're up there in that run, and you're doing great. And I listen, you're one of the guys I always cheer for and support. That's true. It's as much as Dolph is... Anytime we ever talk, it's like half of it's not real because you're always laughing. I don't.
I do laugh a lot.
Yeah, and I'm like, no, I seriously want to tell you. And look, see, he laughed.
No, seriously, I need this kidney. It's like,
look at you, look at you and your kidneys. All right, buddy, I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, man. Thanks a lot. Happy to finally get on here.
All right, how much fun was that? Episode saved. I like it. I'd like to thank the man upstairs for that, by the way. And I'm talking about Kevin Harvey. He lives in my attic. I wish, because then he would save everything I'd ever did. But, I don't feel as much as an asshole to have to go back and record with him. And we're all happy, and the people are happy. And that wasn't a scheme by any means. That's how it went. And thankfully, we're able to get it out and get it out there. And even since then, how great has he been doing, huh? Climbing up the ladder, main events, doing well for himself. And believe me, I trained with this guy in Kentucky and in Florida, and I always saw it. And I was talking about this with another wrestler the other day where he thought that, maybe Dolph was the best ever to come through developmental in terms of never been trained before. Cena, was doing stuff at UPW, and Orton had done stuff from St. Louis, but he really, first ever training was done with WWE, and it's an interesting claim. I might have to agree with it. So I look forward to seeing where he goes, how far he climbs up the ladder, what main events he'll be in the future, and how great his career goes, and whatever he wants to do. I assume wrestling, but who knows? The guy's got many aspects to his his life, comedy, acting, modeling, whatever he wants to do, hanging out with Howie Mandel, who knows? Just like me and Jamie Kennedy, maybe something him and Howie Mandel will come of something. I don't know. All right, that's the episode for this week. But before we get out of here, though, let's get into some plugs and upcoming events. All right, guys, the best way you can support ColtMerch.com. T-shirts, buttons, pictures, posters, and DVDs. Please go on over and support the podcast at ColtMerch.com. My Twitter, at Colt Cabana. See who the next guest of the Art of Wrestling is going to be, what I have to say about the world of wrestling, or just in general. Follow me at Colt Cabana. My email, ColtWrestling@gmail.com. You got something to say to me? Say it to me there. Maybe you're a promoter or a booker or a movie agent, want to put me in any of those things. Send me an email, ColtWrestling@gmail.com. I do have a P.O. box. Snail mail, send me something fun, I'll look and laugh. That's available on WeLoveColt.com. You can check out that front page and see that address. I have a web series, myself and stand-up comedian Marty DeRosa, every single Monday night during wrestling. CreativeHasNothingForYou.com to check that out, and it's also on the High Spots YouTube channel. And then the Facebook, like it, we'll talk about it each week, /AOW Podcast. Some upcoming events, Friday, February 24th, Marionette Park, Illinois, AAWrestling.com. Saturday and Sunday, February 25th and 26th, Reading, Pennsylvania, and Long Island, New York, respectively, ChikaraPro.com. And then all of a sudden, hey, it's coming close. We're filming the Wrestling Road Diaries 2. Wednesday, February 29th, Olney, Illinois, IWAUnlimited.weebly.com. Thursday, March 1st, Carmi, Illinois. Am I saying that right? SNPW. Friday, March 2nd. Cleveland, Ohio, AIWrestling.com. Saturday, March 3rd, LaSalle, Illinois, DreamWaveWrestling.com. And then Sunday, March 4th, in the city of Chicago, Illinois, free of charge. Come see a live podcast with myself, Luke, and Domino, ChallengerComics.com. Then back on the road, Friday, March 9th, Rahway, New Jersey, ProWrestlingSyndicate.com. Saturday and Sunday, March 10th and 11th, Newfoundland, Canada, that region, LegendCityWrestling.com. Friday, March 16th, Berwyn, Illinois, AAWrestling.com. And Saturday, March 17th, Elburn, Illinois, NAProWrestling.com. That's it, guys. That's the podcast for this week. Glad we could save it. Glad we could talk to the Dolphster. This has been The Art of Wrestling for Colt Cabana. I'm Colt Cabana. Thanks.
Hi, this is Barry Manilow, and you're tuned into the Art of Wrestling podcast.